Hello and welcome to Gank
Gank
That
That
Drank,
Drank.
a supernatural drinking game podcast. It's a podcast where we basically are going to make up drinking game rules for an episode of one of our favorite, most meta, most referential, and handsome shows that we love so much, Supernatural.
Supernatural.
Whoever made up the rules, whichever one of us made up the rules, is going to recap the episode.
Yes, but Krissy, who are we?
Well, I'm Krissy Lenz
I
of the Neighborhood
spoiled it.
Comedy
Shoot.
Theater.
And
Who are
I'm
you?
I'm Nate McWhorter of the Neighborhood Comedy Theater.
Yeah.
And we're watching my episode tonight. Oh, wait, but what?
But why should people stick around even after the recap ends?
That's right. The recap isn't the whole shebang. You got to stick around because we do go over how many times the rules all hit, but also we're going to give you the rules for next week's show or next episode's show. I shouldn't say week.
Yeah.
The next episode we drop
in 2 weeks. Yeah.
In 2 weeks, the rules for that episode will be at the end of this episode. So stick around.
You can play along ahead of time so you can know what episode is coming. So stick around. And then if you are fortunate enough to be a supporting member of this pod, stick around to the very end because we're going to give you our lessons learned.
And whatever other chitter chatter we got.
Yeah, exactly.
I got some chitter chatter. I got a question for you in the bonus tonight. So I hope people do stick around.
And stick around and become a member. But first, we have to discuss what drinking game rules we are playing for tonight's episode. Nate, it's your episode, so tell us what we're doing.
Yes, Krissy, it's my episode, and tonight's episode is Season 9, Episode 4. This is Slumber Party. This is one of our favorites. This is one that we have done at the Phoenix Comic Con Fest Fan Fusion, whatever you call it, the Nerd Ball in June. That's what I call it. We have done this one as a mashup, which is why we just talked briefly off air beforehand that we have some of this memorized because we watched it so many times. And yet
so many.
I felt still the need to watch it one more time before we came on tonight to just be like, all right, I got it. Plus, I wanted to make sure I knew how the rules, how they were breaking out. Speaking of rules, here we go. I've got the first rule. This is an interesting one. Lights on. Anytime lights come on. And I will say, if you haven't played yet, because maybe you did listen to the last episode and you know what the rules are, but if you're doing the whole listen to the rules, pause, and then play along, or watch and drink along, I would say anytime they go into the Crowley room, even though there are not lights, light is being shown into the what is otherwise a dark room, so I count that. I just want to point that out in my. You might.
Wow, I didn't count that at all.
That's kind of. I realized that in the rewatch, I was like, oh shoot, I was counting Crowley. Like every time they go in there, I was like, oh, lights on, but they don't actually turn a light on. It's just illuminated. But I love it because they put the camera in the dark room several times this episode and then illuminate the room. Anyway.
So the next rule I have written down is our all play rule, the Sammy rule. Anytime Dean calls Sam Sammy or anyone else calls him anything other than Sam and he corrects it, then you go Sammy and take a drink.
Yeah. I don't know. I sometimes just do it even if he doesn't correct it. The next rule I have is someone dies, and then of course we typically play to drink twice if you know their name. So there's that one. I don't know if I specified that. Whatever. You know. If you know, you know. If you know, you know.
Next up, we have an Oz pun or an Oz reference.
Yeah, or Wicked, or anything. I don't know if I caught any Wiz references in there, but
I didn't.
I didn't either. So I think we're good. Poppy bullet. Anytime we get a poppy bullet.
I also okay, and then we have a take a drink anytime there is a BM scene or a BM moment. BM, of course, stands for boy melodrama, but can be expanded to include Charlie and Dorothy.
Yes. I didn't think about that, so I'm excited to yeah. We're gonna probably have a different number there. And then we got some shots in there. We got a
Or
shot,
2 drinks. Shot or take 2 drinks.
2 drinks, or like chug or finish, or whatever. It's the extra rule because they only happen once. First is Zeke. We get a Zeke appearance in this one, and then also the salute at the end.
Yeah, and then take a drink anytime the witch is behind you.
The witch is behind you. I like that because that happens several times. And then I actually wrote down one while I was doing this last watch. So if you haven't played yet, or you want to go back and play again, anytime there's a dig at the men of letters.
Yeah,
there's a lot of pot shots taken at the men of letters in this episode, and I love it. Because is this the first men of letters episode we've done?
It is.
Yeah.
It's the first one that really talks about them.
Right. And so I think that's such an interesting and fascinating part of the show. I love the bunker just as a character as well. It's, a character just like Baby.
Yep.
And so that's one of the reasons why I love this episode, because we get like origins, like the first time anyone walked into the bunker, and all sorts of fun bunker moments in this episode. So, Krissy, what are you drinking tonight, or what did you drink while you watched this episode?
Oh, the most boring thing ever, a Topo Chico hard seltzer, margarita style, that was given to me by my friend Nate.
Oh, I'm happy I could have assisted. And then it's not boring. Topo Chico margarita is exciting. It's fun. It's Cinco de Mayo's around the corner from when we're recording this, and it's always around the corner in my heart. So I don't know what Topo Chico has to do with that, but I drank a Fat Tire during this episode, so I didn't drink anything super fancy either. Just a Fat Tire, which I would say is a plain old Fat Tire, except it's new because they have a new beer. They've changed it anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it used to be an amber, and now they've changed it to a golden ale. And it's quite good, if I say so myself. Free ad, New Belgium, send me money. All right.
Send us some beer money, baby.
Send us beer money. So, are you ready to get into our recap, Krissy?
I am ready. Take me into the bunker, Nate.
Okay, we are going into the bunker. We have a then sequence, which I did not bother to write down, because other than telling us that Charlie was going to be in this episode and just like recapping what Charlie's done in the show so far, it didn't like have a whole lot. And I guess it gives you a little bit of Zeke in there. What it does give you is a Sammy at the very end of it. Yep. So that was actually the only Sammy I got. Did you get another one the whole episode? Did you get a Samuel?
I got two Sammys.
Damn, I'm so bad sometimes at like catching those. Gosh dang it. All right. Not to spoil that for the end, but so here we are. It's 35, something like that. We're in
something like that.
The bunker. We got one of my favorite like opening scenes to a Supernatural episode ever, which is like two dudes going into a dark room from a alley that we don't know where, and like they both gotta like open suitcases and turn a key at the same time, like very just like spy. And they're turning on. These guys are walking into the bunker for the very first time, and these are men of letters being put on assignment to the U.S. at the bunker. And so you have the grizzled vet, of course, of men of letters, and then you have the fresh-faced words. Fresh-faced newbie. We know by one name, and that is Jenkins. I love Jenkins.
We should say that it's like beautifully shot in blank and blight.
We're
both doing great tonight. We've had a little too much of our Fat Tire Topo Chicos.
Don't watch right before.
It's shot in really nice black and white, and it has a very noir old movie feel to it.
Yeah.
Which I love, when you get a different feeling from the flashback and the now, between the black and white and the color. It's really a nice composition in this episode.
Yeah. And yes, and again, which is I think why I really enjoyed the churning on the lights as a rule, because they do the use of light and everything in this episode is, I think, wonderful. So that is where we get a lights on moment, is in that opening sequence where they turn the lights on to the bunker, and then 6 months they just sit around playing chess because nothing happens. And the one guy, Jenkins, is like,
happening.
He's like, I just want adventure. Kind of like we'll hear Charlie say later on in the episode.
Yeah, nothing will curse you faster than saying you seek adventure and excitement.
And especially
as we know, a Jedi craves not these things.
No, they do not. And we also know that, like, if you wish it upon yourself, it's probably going to end up happening to you in the supernatural universe. So, you know, I guess. But Charlie, that's the thing, is like, that's her character. That's what she wants. The last time we saw her on this show was LARPing the Real Girl, when she was like trying to literally like get it on with a fairy in a tent or whatever it was. Yeah, that was, anyway.
That's exactly what it was.
Mm-hmm. So we have them in the bunker, and then they get a call on the bat phone, very much like they're Charlie's Angels sitting around waiting, and we don't hear the whole conversation. We hear the one half, and the guy's like very put off by it. He's like, "Ugh, Frank's girl is coming in." Essentially, he's like, she's a hunter, and in comes Dorothy. And Dorothy comes in and says, basically, like, I bagged the witch. Anyone got a way to kill her? And they sit around.
You gotta describe her, because she's like your gal about town. She's got her hair all slicked back. She's in motorcycle riding gear, and she's just like not having it from these men of letters. She's sassy and there to take charge and mean business.
She's very like Amelia Earhart-esque.
Yes,
is the
that's
vibes
exactly what
getting.
esque she is.
Yes.
Amelia Earhart-esque is perfect.
Yeah, that's the basically, when you picture that, and that's exactly what this Dorothy's like, which perfectly cast. I think that's again, man, we really got to do a better job about grabbing these darn actors' names.
I'll look it up.
So she did a great job in this. Love it as Dorothy, and I love Dorothy just being like, no nonsense, no frills. Like Dorothy and Dean would probably make a great hunter duo. Like, that would be, in a whole alternate universe, they go off and do the thing together, because that would be awesome. We get the blast to the past with the witch.
Her name is Kanehito Horn.
All right.
Kanehito
Horn.
As Tio Horn.
Sweet. Well, good job to her.
Peter Jenkins, the character of Jenkins, is played by someone whose name is Andrew Jenkins.
What? That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's also
fun fact.
Love that. Love it. All right, so we come back to modern day, and Sam is sitting there in the kit, and he's like trying to figure out how to get Cass back. Cass is gone because him and Dean had their whole riff, right? Their whole fight, their whole. Speaking of boy melodrama, oh my gosh, that whole time, I'm always just like, will you two just stop? Anyway, and also Zeke's living inside Sam, so there's this moment when Sam is like, we got to find a way to track the angels to help Cass, and I think I found it with this computer, or with the table that set off, that locked the bunker down. It's connected to, and we'll find out in the next scene, this computer that runs on no power in a room, and that basically, so Dean's like, was this your idea? And Sammy's like, yeah, is there anyone else here? He's like, well, no, but yes. But yes, there is. Was this your? It's like he's trying to talk to Zeke. It's a very funny moment. I don't know if I noticed, there's so many of those little things that you're just sometimes as you're watching, you just glaze over. But that one, I was like, I love that moment. So then Sammy takes him down to the who knows what billionth room this is of this place, where there is an old timey computer the size of a room, and basically Sam is like, I'm wondering if we can use it to track angels, which how would that even work? The episode drops this entire premise immediately.
Right.
Because as the boys
they just
are like,
needed to get us into the computer room. That's what
right,
they
which
needed
is
to
where
do.
the bottle that is containing the witch and Dorothy is sitting on the shelf, and while Dean is trying to like pry open the computer, he gets kicked back and he knocks the shelf and the bottle rolls over, and then it doesn't actually spill until the boys have left the room. And then it spills, and this is how the witch and Dorothy get up. But we don't see that for like another 2 scenes, because basically the boys are like, we need IT on this, and like Sam can't find any of the records on how this computer works or a manual or anything. So Dean goes, I know who we're calling. They call Charlie. Charlie enters.
It's time for a slumber party.
It's time for the slumber party, and she's excited, and she's like happy to be there. She just got fired for like doing some WikiLeaks on her job, like just leaking like they're using child labor or something. So yeah, then she takes a look at the computer, and one of my favorite things, Charlie always has. Usually they plant some sort of saga character or something somewhere on her. She's been in a Lion Cat shirt. Well, on the background of her very not at all product placed Microsoft Surface is a Lion Cat background or wallpaper, which I absolutely love. So I always love to point out anytime we get saga in the Charlie episodes. Yay! So we get them, and they're sitting around, and Charlie's like, "Hey, let's do a slumber party because this is going to take a minute." And we flash back then to the witch and the men of letters trying to figure out how to kill this witch with Dorothy, and then basically saying there's no way to kill her, and the witch escapes. She breaks the binds with just her fingernail, which given Dorothy's like level of what seems to be like magical expertise in this, I would think that she would have had her bound with something just like a tad more supernatural than.
Well, and you get the impression that she feels like she says, I have her bound. And I thought she meant by magic, not just by rope.
Did I. That was the impression I got. But then, like, nope, just fingernail, like, does it in. Yeah. I thought, but I guess you got to get her loose somehow.
Oh yeah, you sure do. Yeah. Got to get that witch out.
Yeah.
Get her out in the open.
We get the witch gets out. Also, somewhere in this, I've forgotten, I've neglected to mention, the boys are like keeping Crowley hostage in the back at the moment. This is during that time period when they're trying to get him to give up the location, some sort of location of
purgatory.
Oh, that's right, purgatory. Yeah. It's funny how you just forget these things because there's so many like moments of that. So Crowley's locked up, and like they keep going into him, and they're like, "Tell us where it is," and he's like, "Never." And that persists.
I'll just make snide comments and jokey jokes.
Moose. I love anytime we get a moose. So it delivers the line perfect every time.
Winning and delightful and never amiss Mark Sheppard as Crowley.
Yes, quite wonderful. So we get another flashback where we see how Dorothy and the witch end up trapped in the bottle. This is also so the witch escapes. She possesses Jenkins. Poor Jenkins. Possesses him, and he starts to attack the grizzled vet. The grizzled vet then is able to like kill Jenkins.
Yeah, like straight up killed
Jenkins. Like straight up just murdered his friend. Not even thinking about it.
That seemed really rash to me. Like tie him to a chair until he's not possessed anymore.
So I think this is right along the lines of like basically we're setting up that the men of letters are not good guys. Like, this is clearly like an early sign that these guys don't care. It's all still about themselves living. Like, it's not, they're not out there trying to protect people or save people.
Yeah, it's about like playing by the rules.
Yeah, but the rules being like, save yourself at all costs, and especially if a woman could be put in peril, put her in peril first. Yeah. But the episode they like take a lot of shots of the men in letters for being pompous, sexist, dick or jerks. Sorry, I just can't remember if we're allowed to say stuff or not. We then get the flashback. She traps herself with the witch in the bottle with some magic. She says it's you and me forever. I love that. Delivers the line great. And then that's when we flash forward and the boys notice, oh no, something has spilled behind the shelving unit. And it's, oh
and it's
gosh.
this whole like almost like the kind of portal you'd see in Stranger Things. It's all like gooey and yucky.
Yes,
And
it very much was like the portal to the upside down. It was like all spider webby. Yeah, it was like gray and gross. And we can see there are two pods, one of which has already been exited, and the other one the boys cut into. Dorothy flops out, and they're like, "Boy, we got a lot of catching up to do with you."
yep, you've been in there for 75 years.
Yeah, she couldn't believe that Charlie wasn't a secretary. She thought they were men of letters. Keeps calling them nerds, basically.
Yep.
It's very funny. And Charlie is smitten, as Charlie is off to do when presented with a pretty and like confident woman. She is always like falling for him. So she, and of course, like she keeps telling the boys, like she first of all tells them she's been hunting during their whole. I love the moment. I didn't go over the slumber party scene where they're watching Game of Thrones. Dean is like throughout this episode giving Sam crap for not moving in yet.
Yeah, for not considering the bunker home.
Yeah, and which of course then Sam gives us the explanation of like, I never had a home like you had. I don't ever remember having a home. It was always just motels and dad and blah blah blah. So that kind of makes sense. We get a little like character development there and a backstory and it goes within the story of like Dean has been trying to move in, has been inventorying, which is how he knows of the key that the witch is looking for, and everything like that. So they realize, oh, the witch is on the loose. We got to figure out a way to stop her. They leave Dorothy and Charlie to figure out a way to stop the witch while they go and check they go to talk to Crowley. That's what they
yeah,
go to.
They go check in with Crowley.
Yeah, which we get then the scene, which one of the best scenes is Crowley with the witch. Love this scene entirely. His Oz jokes with both her and then with the boys when they come asking about her are just dynamite. Absolutely,
they are dynamite.
So much dynamite.
And it happens a lot where you get just like a hint of Crowley or a dash of Castiel. But like even a hint of Crowley makes the episode better. Even any little splash of Crowley goes a long way. He's so easy to hate, easy to love, hate, and charming that it's just I can't get enough.
And I will say that is with the one accepted episode is the last episode I chose, which is the Beyond the Mat, where it's the sad Crowley. You get like not good Crowley. You get like being beaten down and.
But he's still funny and charming. Like
he is, but it's some of the most uncomfortable and awkward Crowley scenes you get in the whole show. But which is why it's some of the most visceral too. That you remember. Anyway, that's like episodes ago. What are we talking about? We're talking about this episode. And so, yes, Crowley, the boys, after he figures out what the witch wants, the boys come, ask him what the witch wants. He just wants to stretch his legs. They let him do that. Let me air out a little bit. Dean shoots him. I'd say you're aired out enough. And she's looking for a key. Oh, what key? I don't know. Dorothy knows. It's the key that opens the door to Oz. Any door.
Why did you not know that that's what she would be looking for? Like, of all the things, a doy, I say to you, Dorothy.
Right. Like, if you knew it existed, that had to have been what she was looking for since she was trapped in Earth. Anyway. So, yeah, she's looking for the key. Dean, she has a drawing of the key. Dean's like, I know that. When I was doing inventory, I came across it. So he goes up with Charlie to try to find the key. And they've already made, Charlie and Dorothy have made the poppy bullets by this point.
Mm-hmm. Which, Charlie found out about by reading the notes of the older men of letters who found the clue in the books.
Yes. Yeah, the grizzled vet found the clue in the books that but it won't kill her, it'll just stun her. So still sick job, men of letters. Always doing half the work. So that's actually, now I'm thinking about it, that is way more true than I even realized. Now I'm like going through my brain on all the examples of them just half-assing everything. I don't even know where I'm at this point.
Sorry.
It's all good. We are at, oh yeah, they find the key, and just in time because the witch is behind you.
The witch is behind you.
The witch is behind you. She takes the key. She winds up to throw a fastball right at the heart of Dean, but Charlie steps in the way and takes it for him. And she's like dead instantly, like done. Night skis. See you, Charlie. And like, I mean, it's supernatural, and I think even by this point, this being I think Charlie's third episode.
At least it's Min's her third episode.
Yeah. If she were to actually be dying, they wouldn't have done it that quick in the middle of an episode. It would have been a huge build up to it, like it ended up being. So, you're not too phased by it, but it is a scary moment. And then as Sam is running into the room, Dean yells, "Zeke!" And this is where we get our Zeke moment.
Yay!
Zeke is like, I can save you, or I can save her, or I can fight this witch. But I cannot do both. Also, I'm still weak from bringing Cass back to life a minute ago. And I'm keeping your brother alive. Like, Zeke taking on a lot here. Even though that's also not his name, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's also where this is. Yeah, pretty sure I know who this actually ends up being. So, he saves Charlie, of course, because Dean's like, just do it, save her. She's basically like my little sister. I can't not have her around. So he saves Charlie, which then like knocks him back, and we get the moment of Sam's like, how did I get over here? How is Charlie not dead? How are you not dead? How are you all dead? Dean's just like, I don't know.
You fell asleep.
No. Question mark. He's like, we gotta go find.
I'm asking so many questions.
Yeah. So then we get the great moment between Dorothy and Charlie, where Charlie's like saying that she was imagining, she was dreaming of heaven, basically.
Yeah.
And when Dorothy informs her, no, you died because that sounds like heaven. I've died too.
Mm-hmm.
And we get the whole talk of like,
we get a BM scene, a boy melodrama with girls.
Yes, boy melodrama with girls scene. Which it's a good one, and it's like I love the whole talk of like I even wrote down like lines from it. Well, first of all, I love the line, "You're not a hunter until you've died and come back to life." That's
the supernatural family crest.
Absolutely. And then she says like the real life, what is it? Real life sometimes is darker than fiction. But yeah, they she goes on about the books and how it's just like the ravings of her father, and Charlie's like, but those are my childhood. That's what made me like want adventure and everything like that. And of course, as we've learned in this episode already, wanting adventure is the worst thing you could possibly do, because everyone who wanted adventure in this episode dies. There are 4 deaths in this episode, 3 deaths in this episode, and they all wanted adventure, even the witch.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted that adventure as well. So we get back to the witch is off. She has the key, so now she's starting to go and try to open the door to bring her armies to the earth. But before she does that, the boys actually like do get a little bit of a drop on her, and they start, but she possesses them then while they like tackle her.
Mm-hmm.
Because where were they?
All she has to do is touch him on the forehead, She was gonna get Sam, and he couldn't get a shot. Dean couldn't get a shot, so he just tackled them. So they both end up with their faces right near her possessing finger.
Yep.
And she just goes boop and boops them both and possesses them.
Right, so that they can go and attack Dorothy because she cannot kill Dorothy, but they can. Dorothy is in the garage with Charlie, and that moment's great because Charlie's like, "There's a garage in this? Of course, there's a garage. There's a dungeon.
Full. It's full of cars. There's cars everywhere,
including Dorothy's old, what looks like old Vincent motorcycle, or maybe I couldn't tell if it was Vincent or an Indian, but she pulls out the head of the Tin Man, just casually.
Just has it in there.
Yeah, still in there. And then the ruby red slippers, which are ruby red stilettos, and
which, if it's supposed to be according to the reality of the book, they should be silver.
Ooh, yeah. They think they obviously pick and chose what book things they wanted to like mention or go about having. Charlie's like, it was in the books. But then, so they, I don't know if they would have gone, but that would have been a fun moment to pull out Silver Shoes and be like, yeah, read the freaking books.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh darn it, Supernatural. The pointy end. That's basically this pointy magic is what's going to kill the witch finally. And so, as they pull out the ruby red slippers, the possessed boys come down, and it's time for an awesome fight scene. The first part of which is just Charlie kicking Dean in the nads, saying sorry, Dean, for the kick in the nads, and then running off. And then we get Dorothy v. Sam and Dean in like knockdown, drag out, bloody knuckle fight. And just as they're about to get the slice on her, and they got her in the old 1-2, Charlie stabs the Wicked Witch as she is calling her rabid monkey army to the door and takes her
right out. In the back of the head.
Oh, that's hard to do. I guess they're magical shoes, and like, but man, for like the witch literally couldn't be killed. She said she tried to behead her, set her on fire, all this stuff. All it took was a heel to the back of the head.
To the back of the head.
All right.
And like, why didn't Dorothy think, something with Oz magic? No, Men of Letters didn't think of that either. No one thought of that until she's like, let's go to the garage and get something out of your bike.
And you're telling me she doesn't have like a magic Oz screwdriver or something in there that could have also...
Right, or a magic Oz knife. The key is, almost knife shape.
A perfectly nice pair of shoes. So the witch is dead, which of course we get the wonderful line when they come into the room, and she says, "Ding dong, bitches."
Ding dong, bitches.
Ding dong, bitches. So wonderful line there. And then we get the whole denouement, the wrap up, where Dorothy is thanking the boys and everything, and saying, "You guys aren't bad for some librarians. Can you take care of my motorcycle? Okay, Charlie, you ready to do this thing?" And Charlie's like, "What? Huh? Me? What? Huh? Huh?" And so then they go off to Oz together to the tune of AC/DC's For Those About to Rock.
Yeah, it's great.
They don't often pay. They only pay for like a few songs, like actual songs. They don't. And when they choose to pay for them and use them, it always fascinates me.
Mm-hmm.
Just always.
This one was well used. This was a great moment.
This was great. And it just, that was so funny. I love it. I love this episode. And then, the boys, they go off to Oz. The boys close the door. They open the door, and it's just the bunker again. And it's just Sam and Dean in the bunker where Sam doesn't want to live, and Dean's already moved in. And I just cleaned the kitchen.
Yeah. But it's also, we get that line at the end, like, there's no place like home. Because once they close the door to Oz, they open it again, and it's just their like bat tunnel.
Yes.
And it's like, there's no place like home. That's why we needed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it sets it up that this is the boys' new home. This is where we're gonna be. Enough. We can't keep paying these gosh darn set directors to make hotel rooms. Like, it's just costing a fortune. We need
and they don't have Bobby's
set.
place anymore. You know, they need a home base.
Yeah. And the bunker is great. And so this is a wonderful, I think I would even say like the closest thing we get to a true like introduction to the bunker as a character. I think you learn a lot of the history of it. You learn it's got all these different rooms. I mean, I know that we've had several episodes in it so far, and we learned stuff at the very beginning about it, but like this is really when we're starting like, okay, men of letters, who were they? What did we do? Like, what was their function? And and obviously this Dorothy case, they said, was the first case ever out of this branch. And I'm just excited for more men of letters. It's a great episode. All right. So, anything else? Did we miss anything? Other than I do want to try to go through all of the Crowley puns that he drops.
Oh, well, good for you. I didn't write them down. I just made marks for them. All right. So here's what you're sticking around for now. The wrap up is done, or the recap is done.
Yeah.
We're going to tell you how the rules played out, how many drinks you took for each rule. And then we're going to tell you what is coming next week. Or next episode. So don't dip out on us just yet.
Stick in there. All right. How the rules play out for Lights on Krissy. I'm going to assume you maybe only got 2.
I got 3.
You got 3. Okay, I got 5. And like I said, I counted anytime Crowley's room got open, or like they started that shot in the room, they opened it.
Yeah.
And so then light
I didn't count that.
It.
I got 2 Sammys.
I only got the 1, and that was in the then.
There's another one towards the beginning.
Shoot. I hate when I miss a Sammy. Deaths, we got 3 deaths, so 6 drinks total, because we know all their names: Jenkins, Charlie, and Alpha.
The witch. Yeah.
The witch.
Alphaba.
All right, here's the big one. How many Oz references or puns did you catch?
11.
Okay, I got 13.
So close.
Yeah, no, that is for as jam packed as they were, and as like, you know, maybe I might have counted 1 or 2 you didn't, or you know, like for whatever reason. How many poppy bullets got fired?
4.
They fired all 4? Man, I'm so bad at this. I thought only 2 ended up getting fired.
Oh, well, I also counted when they referenced the poppy bullets.
Oh, okay. I was only counting that when they actually got fired, but 4 sounds right for references then. All right.
How many BM scenes or moments did you count?
Well, because I am a dumb male, I did not think to include on my count the Charlie and Dorothy BM scenes, so I only got 2.
I got 4. I got 4 boy melodrama scenes.
And that makes sense, because if I had think about that, then there's 2 more with those 2 as well.
And of course, there's only 1 each for our shots.
Yep.
Zeke's appearance in the salute.
How many of the witches behind you did you have?
4.
Nice. And then I counted 6 men of letters digs.
Nice. I wasn't counting those.
That's because I didn't have that one in the rules at the end of last episode. That was one I decided at the beginning of my watch today that I was going to just add in there, because I was like, they really do make fun of them a lot.
I thought that was a really well crafted game, Nate. I liked it a lot.
Yes, I think in like a themed episode, if you can just find like whatever that, you know, like, because we could have done pop culture references, and then there's like several other pop culture references we could have drank for, but you know, I wanted to just highlight the Oz references for this episode, and so obviously that was the hero rule of the game, but then the other things all hit pretty well, and I think if you throw in the men of letters or the witches behind you, it's a even better, awesome game. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. They don't always work out this well.
It's true. My next one is not going to work out as well, because there's a lot of one-time rules, because it's a favorite episode of mine, but it was tough to find something consistent. So do you want to know what we're doing next?
I would love to know what we're doing next.
Okay. We're doing season 15. That's right. The last season. And I think you're about to do back-to-back episodes. Well, guess what? So am I.
Nice.
This is season 15, episode 10, The Hero's Journey.
Yes.
This is the episode where they lose their sort of God-given superpowers they didn't know they had.
And that's going to be such a good tease for what I eventually, hopefully, we can talk about what we want to do for future blocks of this podcast. But we get Chuck, and that is like a big sticking point with me in this show is Chuck.
Chuck.
I'm excited for that.
Here are your rules. A lot of them don't hit very much, so that's why there's so many of them. Okay. Garth wolfs out. Take a drink. They use the word normal. Take a drink. Take a drink every time Sammy sneezes. Take a drink every time Dean says, seriously? Take a drink if baby breaks down. Take a drink when someone says, Mommy, the giant is crying. Waterfall during a dance number. Take a drink when someone says, you need a colonoscopy, stat. Take a drink when you see the famous mugshot. And last but not least, take a drink. This is my new favorite rule that we've come up with during the BM scene, the boy melodrama scene.
All right, you need a colonoscopy. What was right after that? I missed
the mugshot. The famous mugshot. And those are our rules for season 15, episode 10, The Hero's Journey. That's what's up next, baby!
Yeah! All the way to 15.
Yeah, we're going all the way to the end. We've been bouncing all over the place, so hey, thank you for listening. Thank you for sticking all the way to the end. We are going to have some bonus content after this, so if you're still here and you want more, become a supporting member of the show. Get us some beer money so we can afford something nicer than Topo Chico and Fat Tire.
I am currently drinking an expired Dos Equis with lime.
Expired. Oh my god. See, we need your beer money. Send it to us via becoming a supporting member of the show. Help us to do things like pay for hosting and pay for all the different things that we need. We appreciate you. Like, rate, review, give us your feedback. We appreciate all of it. Find us at the Neighborhood Comedy Theater in downtown Mesa, Arizona, and you can find us on the Facebooks and the Instagrams at Most Excellent Pod. All right. And, when you're out there in the world saving people and hunting things, the family business, be sure to keep the Gank That Drank motto in mind. Be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.